Hey guys, my name is Matumio, and today we have finally started to learn some more details about what's going on with Battlefield 4. DICE is finally starting to come out of their winter hibernation. A bunch of their developers were over on vacation for the last couple of weeks now, and we're kind of getting some tidbits of information about what they have kind of planned for future patches, and more specifically, that they are going to be going and trying to balance out some of the aspects of the game. And one of the things that they mentioned, Alan Kurtz tweeted out, that they are going to be working on rebalancing the designated Marksman rifle. And in my opinion, this is fantastic news. You guys know me, I like to use the DMRs every once in a while. They're very skillful because in my opinion, they just do not stand up to all of the other weapons or weapon classes in the game right now. And so the fact that they are going to be making these changes, I think, is just phenomenal. We don't know what tweaks are going to be made. They may increase the damage so that it's a one-shot kill if you're up close, if you get a dome piece, or maybe reduce it from 4 shots at long range to 3 shots, or they could just reduce the recoil. Either or, I think, is going to be a step in the right direction. They probably won't do both at the same time, and in my opinion, I hope that they don't do both at the same time, because you don't want to overstep things. You want to make small tweaks here and there, because if you make sweeping changes all of a sudden, that gimped or terrible weapon that no one used all of a sudden becomes the god class or the god weapon, and we do want to avoid that. They're also going to be making some changes to the V40 Mini Grenade, and honestly, it's about time. I don't know the stats, but I know that pretty much the largest population, or the majority of the Battlefield community, uses the mini grenades. They're amazing. You can toss them a huge distance. While they don't have as large of an explosive radius as the frags, because you have 3 of them, and because you can kind of spam these down range, and especially if you are on a ammo crate, you can toss these everywhere and all day long. I once saw someone's battle log where they had thousands of kills with the mini grenade, and while that isn't justification alone for nerfing the grenade itself, just the fact that such a large portion of the community uses it, I think that I also heard that competitive play, they ban it as well. It's good that they are going to be making these changes. Alan Kurtz actually said that one of the things that he is going to be doing is that they're going to be reducing the sound and the effect of the grenade, and I'm not sure what they mean by the effect. That could just be the explosion itself. It could mean the damage radius. It could, I'm not exactly sure what it means, but hopefully they're not going to just make it a aesthetic change, and hopefully they're going to be reducing maybe its damage and also its radius. The helicopters are also on the list of what is going to be rebalanced, and while he doesn't go into detail as to what helicopters they are, I'm assuming it's going to be the Little Bird, or, you know, both the Little Birds and the attack helicopter. You guys know me, I've made a bunch of videos kind of complaining or showcasing why the attack helicopters just are not really a very viable or threatening vehicle in the game right now. Back in Battlefield 3, they were a menace. Like, if you had an attack helicopter on your team and the enemy didn't, you were at a pretty substantial disadvantage. And honestly, I kind of like that system. It was a resource, and if your team was able to take advantage of that resource, you were going to go far. And so hopefully they're going to be increasing the damage of the vehicle just overall, and more specifically for the gunner. I can't tell you how frustrating it is to be in the gun position using your main weapon and doing absolutely no damage to enemy vehicles, especially other helicopters. Like, if you're in a firefight with another helicopter, while you don't feel useless, especially if you're amazing with a TV missile, but especially if you're going against a Little Bird and they have reppers in there, might as well just give up at that point. They're going to be able to rep all the damage that you're able to get into them, and they're going to win that engagement 9 out of 10 times. They're also probably going to be making some tweaks to the scout helicopters, and this is probably going to come in the form of a nerf to the effectiveness of the repair bots. Right now, if you have 2 people repairing your Little Bird, and you at least have a competent pilot who's dodging at least a couple of the missiles flying towards them, it's pretty much a tank up in the air. Like, if you don't get shot out by, you know, a SRA or an RPG or a tank shell, you can be up in the sky for the entire round, and it's just simply because you can soak up all of the damage, and as long as you have 2 people repairing you, you can get back to full health in under a couple of seconds. Like, it is way too powerful at this point. And so I have a feeling what DICE is going to do is that they'll reduce the effectiveness or how quickly the repair tool will get that thing back to full full health. Maybe not cut in half, I don't think they'll pull it that far, but like 25%, 30%, just make it so that the pilot has to be a little bit more competent, make it so that they have to run away when they're getting locked on by Stinger missiles, and so that they can't soak up, you know, 4 or 5 Stinger missiles consecutively within 10 seconds and still be up in the sky. Like, that's broken, and allowing them to just kind of dominate the airfield and then everyone on the ground is a little bit too much. He also mentions, and I got a good laugh out of this, that the hand flares and flashbangs are also going to be seen in updates. I honestly thought that hand flares were just kind of something fun that DICE put into the game. I didn't think that they were meant to have any sort of tactical significance, and so the fact that they are going to be seeing some tweaks is kind of intriguing to me. I honestly have no idea what they're going to do with it. I know that some people on the internet are thinking and speculating that maybe the commander could see hand flares, and that could be an indication for them to do something in the location, but even still, like, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense either, because the commander can just kind of talk to the squads themselves. So I don't know exactly what they're gonna do. I'm interested to see what DICE kind of comes up with. As for flashbangs though, that's awesome, because flashbangs at this instant are kind of useless. Every once in a while, I like to run around with them just because they're kind of fun and you can kind of troll the enemy team, because they literally don't do a whole lot. Maybe if you get lucky, you can kind of flashbang someone and it will blind them for a second, and then you can kind of roll into the room and take them out. But that happens so infrequently, and the fact that they kind of have to be looking at the flashbang as it goes off, it makes it very inconsistent. And so I know personally, I'm hoping that they increase the flashbang duration, especially if you get a direct hit. Maybe make it so that they are suppressed or fully suppressed when it goes off. There are a bunch of options, and I'm glad that they are going to be making some tweaks. The final thing he mentions is the mobile anti-air vehicle. This thing is the bane of my existence. The fact that it can sit in its deployments all game long, firing off active radar shells, and take out pretty much everything in the sky 1,000 meters away is a little bit too overpowered. And so I'm not sure what they're going to be tweaking. Maybe they're going to reduce the effectiveness of the active radar. I'm crossing my fingers on that one. I think that is easily the biggest and most overpowered thing about this vehicle. They may make some tweaks to just the overall damage of the miniguns themselves. I think it's like the 20 millimeter and the 25. I can't remember off the top of my head. But my gut feeling is that this vehicle is going to be seeing some nerfs. We'll just kind of have to wait and see how hard they are. But that is about all that he mentioned in his quick little update. I know it's not a lot of hard stats, but it's still fun to kind of speculate and see the direction that DICE is going to be heading for their balance updates and their upcoming patches. And so I hope you guys enjoyed. But that is about it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Before I go, let me know what you think of this. Are you glad that they are going to be making some of these changes? Is there something that you would like them to kind of rebalance in the game? Let me know down below in the comments section. But until tomorrow, have a good one and take it easy.